Hello, I am Maria Adozakari. Welcome to Business Focus. Amid uncertainties trailing the nation's economy, the Central Bank of Nigeria has predicted rising inflation and exchange rates will reduce drastically in the coming year. Governor of the Apex Bank, Mr. Olayemi Cardoso, who made the projection, also said there would be a reduce in revenue from oil exports. According to him, this is due to the production limit of 1.78 million barrels per day in 2024. Recall that Nigeria's annual inflation rate increased to 28.2% in November 2023, a trend which some economists fear would impact the economy negatively in the days ahead. Today on Business Focus, we will discuss how best can inflation and exchange rates be reduced in Nigeria. But first, let's take a look at the stock market figures for Friday. Do stay with us. Welcome back. We would start looking at the equities. We'll start with the highest trades for today. And the highest trades for today, let's take a look at the highest trades. The highest trades for today, we have UBA topping the list with 50 trades at the volume of 1,071,000 at the value of 25,691,000. Access Core comes closely with 47 trades at the volume of 1,089,000 at the value of 24,224,000. Zenith Bank follows closely with 45 trades at the volume of 924,864 at the value of 34,270,000 volume. Then we'll look at the highest trades for the gainers for today. Let's take a look at the gainers for today. Topping the list for the gainers, we have the NNFM with positive 9.93% and Cadbury with positive 9.93% also, and John Holt with positive 9.85%. The losers for today, that's the bottom losers that we have for today. As of Friday, we have the Univ Insurance Company with negative 7.14%. Livestock comes closely with negative 5%. And First Bank Nigeria Holdings comes closely with 4.92%. The Naira sold officially on Friday at 889.86 Naira per dollar at the official market, and at the unofficial market, that's the parallel market, the Naira sold at 1,245 Naira per dollar. The Naira strengthened against the US dollars at both the official and parallel market. This is despite the inflation rate, which was just disclosed on Friday at 28.2% in November as released by the NBS. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back for the interview segment. To discuss after the projection of the CBN governor that the foreign exchange and the inflation rates would reduce drastically in the coming year. We're here to discuss this with Malam Yusha Aliyu, an economist, to help us make sense of the projection. Good morning, Mr. Malamisho Aliyu. Welcome to Business Focus.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, so first, what do you think about the projection by the CBN governor?
It's a good one, but he has already pointed clearly that inflation in the short term is going to be increasing because of the provisions of macroeconomic indices on ground. It is, of course, the trend over the past 5 years. We have seen how inflation is going up because of many factors. Some are indigenous, some are exogenous. And until when adjustment and proper policies are put in place that contain the indices that is coming from the exogenous markets, and at the same time domestic markets, we will continue to have inflation increase, even though what we intend to have clearly, like we said in the meantime, is not the reduction, but to maintain at least the trend. If we can maintain the trend, then there is possibility of having inflation decreased.
Okay, so Malamisho Aliyu, with the CBN governor already noted that there would be increase. How would you assess the increase in different sectors on inflation?
You see, what the MBS has released has shown clearly that we are still facing supply bottlenecks. We are still facing challenges as far as food production and pricing is concerned. And the 28.20% is a very high inflation when income remains stagnant. You know, when income doesn't change and inflation continues to change, individual household power in the market is always reducing. And if it's reducing the GDP growth rate. And even the projection made by the central bank, there is no yet established projected figure of what inflation will be. It's just a dream or a prayer. So in my own opinion, I go by the projection made by appropriation, because the CBN Governor Kodoso was trying to make the legislators or the National Assembly understood the role the central bank is playing and the effort the central bank is making, and at the same time also the cooperation of the legislators in having a very smooth policies related to monetary policy and other central bank orthodox values.
Okay. Malamisho Aliyu, he also mentioned the foreign exchange. The Naira goes up today and the Naira goes down today. It actually went all the way to 1,000 the last 2 weeks, which it has never been in the official markets, that is. What would you say about the current situation of the foreign exchange?
The current situation is not friendly and it is not encouraged at all. But we normally emphasize is that so far that the appetite to have dollars still remain in us. We will continue to face that challenge. It's not as a result of any trade factors that this the rate is changing dramatically. You find a situation you cannot have a stable exchange rate for even 7 days. True. It's very, very unfortunate to have a situation like that, and it is because of our attitude. Unless you change your attitude, I change my attitude, that trend will continue to manifest, especially when the bureaucrats and the technocrats are involved in making this trend to have a negative trend to the economy. Personally, I observed seemingly over a period there has been a lot of non-cooperation from different angles of the economy, because the official rate, the parallel market rate are going hand in hand, and at the same time also is not encouraging any investment portfolio to come into the economy. Like we rightly pointed out many times, that if FDIs, foreign direct investment, is to be available in this economy, first the ease of doing business must be attained, must be more friendly, must be exhausted to bring about a certain confidence by business communities, domestic and business communities exogenous outside the economy.
Okay, so the CBN governor also mentioned that there would be decline in crude exports, that is. How would he mentioned that this is due to theft and other issues Nigeria is facing. What do you have to say about that?
It's a wrong prediction by the bank, because I'm not expecting the bank to quickly align fall in production quota of Nigeria, because this is a challenge to our security men who are on duty, and it's also a challenge to the new NNPCL in trying to stabilize the output agreed by OPEC. Meanwhile, you see, Maria, this the trend of the oil production for quite a long time. We have seen from the previous administration where we produce only 1.2 million barrels, but unfortunately over 400,000 barrels cannot find their ways in Nigerian coffers. Remember also recently the 14th Emir of Kano, the former CBN governor, has made a call for the NNPCL to tell Nigerians the revenues accrued by its own operations. So this, with the central bank coming up now to tell us that there is going to be possibility of under production, definitely it's not a good sign for the economy, and also it's a good information for the stakeholders to be in position to disagree with what the central bank is saying, because it's not the role of the central bank to tell us what is going to happen at the oil market production. It is a job of the NNPC who is in charge of that. It is a job of the security operatives who are also in charge of that. But however, what I am optimistic is that if we can probably adjust certain measures or adopt measures taken by similar oil producing states, we will get rid of this, and our economy will continue to benefit from the funds that is accrued by this the important sector of our economy.
So you would say the CBN overstepped its boundary by
mentioning it should remain within the boundary
of foreign exchange and the inflation
and using of macroeconomic variables. That will create a lot of bad scenario in the economy. This is the first time the CBN, the central bank, is projecting underscoring the performance of crude oil production. It is normal. If the challenge exists, it is not through the window of the central bank that we can have this kind of warning
information.
Information. However, let me just put it this way, that NNPCL must attend to quota provided by OPEC. That is one. Second, NNPCL must present the challenges they are facing in oil theft to the National Assembly, so that the people's representative can discuss the matter and then adopt right measures to assist the NNPC in trying to cope or in trying to maintain the projection made in our appropriation. Remember, all appropriations, if it is signed into law, all bills, if they are signed into law, they are signed into law by the president, they become law. And True. Anybody who is strangling the achievement of that particular subject is subject to law. So that is the implication.
Okay, so that's not a small matter.
Yeah.
Mr. Malamisha Aliu, would you say the fact that the subsidy removal is causing the increase in inflation and not unifying of the foreign exchange until a while back is causing the inflation and the problems with the foreign exchange, that is? Would you say something has changed for the CBN governor to actually make the projection that there would be reduced? Although it would definitely in the long term, but what are the changes that he said it would reduce drastically in the coming year?
Whatever the bank is saying as far as one, inflation is concerned, two, exchange rate is concerned, three, the stability in the general oil production, it has to relate to many synergy between different sectors of the economy. What I don't normally want to comment is the fact that the central bank is a new leadership. And this new leadership, we are optimistic that they are coming with the right policies. But in coming with the right policies, they also have to understand the trend in the economy, the players in the economy. Not only understanding the players, but discussing and then arriving at the right policy measure to adopt. The NNPC is a very good sector. It is a sector that the Nigerian economy relies on because most of the benchmark that we are given in our preparation depends on the performance of the NNPC. But however, the macroeconomic aggregate projections of either the GDP, whatever, it has to do with the performance of the bank. The banking sector, I quite agree, is taking the right measures. One of the best policy that the bank is taking is the issue of recapitalization. That's why the fact that the bank has not reached an agreement on the actual recapitalized value.
True.
But we are hoping that if in 2005 we can have 20 billion as a minimum capitalization, we are expecting if it will not double, it can also exceed that amount, looking at what Naira can obtain in this economy. I gave an example in one of our production that if, for instance, an individual wants to source $19 billion in Naira term within the domestic economy, for him to invest in a private refinery, that bank will have, that individual has to suffer a lot to get this fund. So, but with recapitalization, there is going to be confidence building, there is going to be more protection of depositors' money, and there is going to be more improvement in attracting FDIs, particularly that the size of the Nigerian economy is projected to grow in the next 6 years to $1 trillion economy. These are some of the things that I think the president has a mission. The bank also is preparing for that same mission, but we have to do it diligently, but with more right policies on ground.
Okay, we'll talk about those policies after the break. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back from that break. We are here with Malam Yushua Aliyu and we are discussing the projection by the CBN governor on the reduction in FX market and inflation. Malam Yushua Aliyu, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so you mentioned some policies we need to put in place. First, let's start with the foreign exchange market. What are some policies we can put in place to reduce the fluctuation?
We can reduce the fluctuation when we have enough dollar in the foreign exchange. The second option also is to reduce speculation. Okay. If we cannot reduce the speculation that is going on, definitely we're going to have disturbances in the rate stability. These two issues, the first one, I quite agree with the intention and action, that is proactive measure taken by Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in meeting the right people, that is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, that have certain surplus of exchange rate. And if you can have this as a measure so that we can equate demand and supply for the first time, there will be the volatility that is existing in the market will be cleared. Sure. So we need an intervention of dollars. Second is also for the central bank to make it clearer to the National Assembly why is NNPC not cooperating in depositing or in putting on the accruals of our crude sales to the Federation account, which will assist the central bank with liquidity. If you can have this one in the meantime. Thirdly, is that most of the windows that have been closed have to be reopened because CBN has removed restriction on certain goods and services. The next thing is to synergize or to collaborate with other existing stakeholders to understand the supply bottlenecks of what is causing these price changes. If supply cannot meet up with demand, no matter what measures you take or you put in the economy, you will continue to experience inflation because there will be more number of buyers than what the sellers are providing in the market. And once that is established, and thirdly, the money supply angle, under monetary policy. CBN has attempted to check excess money supply, but the bank is aware that there is money supply 1, money supply 2, and money supply 3. So all these money component in terms of their operational capability in the market, the bank is aware. But one thing the bank is not aware is bank is not aware of the actual size of money that is not within financial sector for many reasons. Many Nigerians are of the habit of keeping liquidity around their businesses or around their homes. True. Some are not keeping it for good intention. Some we cannot recover them. So the idea of printing more money in an attempt to meet up with the supply of money should be checked. Look at our GDP, look at our productivity, look at our population, and then design a better policy that will contain the actual supply that the economy is looking for. Remember, if you cannot meet up with what the economy is looking for, you will continue to have misinformation as to whether the financial sector is holding the reserve liquidity or the liquidity is with the public, with the economy in general. Sure. What I mean here is the fact that if you are to check indices, nature of operations of our habit in dealing with digitalized economy, meaning that are we cashless in nature? What is the percentage of Nigerians that choose to be cashless, that to make transaction without cash, and at what market places does that achieve certain goals? But if you can observe clearly, the entire market, the entire Nigerian economy is cash-based economy. Cash-based economy where you go to local market in Lambata, you can
go with your cash.
With your cash, you buy cows, you buy agri output, you buy this and that. And the same people who are also farmers who are to buy fertilizer, they don't embark on any digital transaction. They prefer to
pick the money.
They pick the money and take it. If you go to Inkalagu in Enugu State, the same market man who wants to be purchasing different goods and services prefer to cash money or hold money, because by counting money it has become a tradition. You keep some in the, because there are certain businesses that you cannot succeed in doing them until when you are cash based. Most especially those who are trading our supplies, mostly of agricultural output from farmers that exist where there is no facility, no network. The only thing they can do, they know, is their farm, their house, and their market. So these are some of the things that invariably the bank must be informed, exactly, to understand. So if we can have this adjustment, and above all, one right measure that the bank is taking is lending money for sectoral development. I quite agree with this. All this intervention that was done under development finance policy of the central bank for about 7 to 8 years, and over 10 trillion has been disbursed, and you cannot access 6 trillion is hanging. This is a wasted effort by the bank in terms of controlling liquidity within an economy, and that is why today the bank is facing a lot of challenges, and the policy it took now of suspending any further treatment of loans, it should be allowed. So when after capitalization, more banks will be more oriented. There should be bank priorities. It should be in line with the priority of the diversification of government effort, where if agriculture is now projected to yield a better result for the GDP, then the commercial banks after capitalization must be directed and must be informed that this role has to be achieved, and the achievement has to be scored. And if there are certain gray areas, it has to be tabled to the Monetary Policy Committee to discuss, and after discussion, if there are challenges that require certain laws to be established, they can move back to the National Assembly for proper guidance.
Okay, you mentioned the cash. Is it that the government is not doing enough in orienting the people? Because an example was given, someone in the village having cattle. You would go in, you tell him, I've made the transfer, the money is now in your phone. And then the man would give you the cattle and you go with them. He has not seen the money. He does not understand what it means by your money is on the phone now. So is it that we need to do more to curb that, especially at the grassroots level, because that's where the most of the agricultural buying and selling happens? And they are not actually informed. They are not understanding the fact that, yes, it's possible to have your money on the phone.
You see, there is need for sensitization. True. And this sensitization should not end in radio programs. There should be community meetings. Where central bank has to work with experts who can speak fluently, who are also respected by various communities. True. To go and speak to them. It goes beyond speaking on radio and television, but it's helping. But the real common people who are to be educated requires town hall meeting. You organize through the head, the all these people. You sit with them and you inform them, and then not only giving them the information, but try to protect their savings, because if you cannot provide avenues where their savings cannot be,
they would not trust it.
Will not be trusted. One failure generate higher inefficiency, and that is why in educating local communities, it's not only Nigeria that has local communities. Worldwide, Chinese have more local people than Nigeria, but they are all educated because they are being communicated in their local languages. They are being organized in their local languages. And not only organized, they are wholly protected. And that protection is what builds in confidence.
True.
So no matter what enlightenment you are undertaking, if their interest is not protected, we are going to have challenges, because when you check the 36 states, 704 local government, over 8,000 wards, scattered around Nigeria, you discover that in each and every sector there is where there is efficiency, and where that efficiency is, you have to increase. You have to introduce to be more efficient and effective. Sure. In trying to
protect that.
Trying to protect their vulnerability to other attacks by modern economy.
By our Yahoo boys and the 419ers.
Yes.
Okay, so Madam Yusha Aliu, the government actually put out a social security net by means of the palliative. How effective would you say that palliative is?
You see, the effectiveness of palliative is highly underscored, because it is not reducing poverty, it is not bringing efficiency. Let us face the fact. What the economy is looking is effective policy measures. If you are to diversify the economy, it has to be effective and efficient. If you are to diversify sectors of the economy, it has to be effective and efficient. What will bring more comfort to household? You know, when collective prosperity is mentioned, there is collective discipline. And that collective discipline requires financial discipline, requires moral discipline, requires a lot of discipline to attend to that. But what is more important is, in trying to make our economy to be more effective, presently is to control prices. A common man will never control price. That's why the digital individual, because every individual is pursuing self-aggrandizement, and when you find certain people are facing self-aggrandizement, it is only a policy measure that will come and make the system more effective. What is that thing that we require in this economy? Effective and efficient refineries. Once refineries are working, our forex will flown away, will be contained. Individual price changing at different interval will also be contained, because we have the crude oil, we are producing it, and we are refining it. Once we get that efficiency, that is what we are looking. But when you pack, even if the entire 1 trillion that the 3 tiers of government shared in this month, if you pack everything and distribute it as palliative, it will not solve the matter, because sure, everybody will go to market, and if everybody goes to market, the price will continue to increase. Sure. And it reducing the value of that same currency. 15 years back, a 50 kilogram of rice produced in locally is costing 5,000 naira. Presently, the same rice that is produced locally and the market is over 35,000 naira. So you can see the inefficiency in price in making price to allocate goods and services to different households, and that is why the household is facing a dramatic challenges. Today's problem, today's challenge might not be contained tomorrow, and every day there is a new challenge to the household. And once you have the collective prosperity is being eroded, you find a situation where the economy will be inconvenient for many players to play, and that is why palliative, in my own understanding, is not going to help matters, but right measures to make price stable is the most efficient that will bring stability. Nigeria budget over 27.3 trillion for the fiscal year 2024. Now, if you take the previous allocation of 22.73 trillion in 2003 plus the supplementaries that is contained, what output? The GDP is still growing at 2.52%, while the projected GDP of Nigeria is expected to be 6%. And even at that 6% is not as good as what other economies that are of equal terms are getting it.
True. So, Malamisha Aliyu, now let's talk about the foreign exchange market. What policies could be put in place to invite the FDIs? What ease of doing business policies could we actually put in place to bring in more foreign direct investments to the country?
You see, FDIs has peculiarities and have standard. Nigerians ranking in FDIs or in ease of doing business is not friendly, it's not encouraging. The first thing is to establish an atmosphere or a business environment that is secured of many things. Secured where there is banditry, it has to be secured out of banditry. It has to be secured out of crisis. It has to be secured out of Yahoo boys.
True.
All these are security. Cyber security expert, the institutions that are in charge must also double their effort to control cyber security. The agencies also involved in controlling banditry and all these menaces that are facing our troubled economic zones has to be wiped out. That is the first ease of doing business. The second is to provide a good visa policy where individuals that are coming will have direct access to the nation. You have friendly financial policies for investment purposes. You have friendly tax policies. These are basic things that all economists are looking. Remember Asian Tigers. Asian Tigers were doing best because it's a conglomeration of experts from the Chinese, from the Malays, and from the Indians. And they combine their knowledge and they transfer technology and they value and also protected that copyright protection. These are things that you must put in place.
Right.
If Maria should invent a design, a web design, and she has to be protected.
True.
And it is her own personal design. So these are some of the things that I think if we can encourage them, we have them, then it goes along in trying to shape our economy for better use. Ease of doing business. Like I gave you an example of the Asian Tigers. One fundamental issue, if you are to understand how ease of doing business works, you go to United Arab Emirates and you take them 25 years back and you look at where they are today.
Presently.
These are people that provided facilities first and then says that it is zero tax businesses, international. And that is why every individual is coming. And they also do not discriminate who is coming and who is not coming. They allow the global economy to be participating. And that is why today every individual, if you want to have certain investment opportunities, you go and sit in Dubai, you call. Look at our president was in Dubai, climate change. They were able to hijack the policy because they have a friendly environment that are everything, the tourist attraction, facility attraction, investment attraction.
Okay. So let's go back to fuel subsidy removal on the exports in the reduction of export in crude oil. The monies saved from the removal of subsidy, where are they?
Mr. President told Nigerians even after a month or 2 months that he was able to save ₦1 trillion. And in the same vein from the time to date, the same narration is that we have saved over ₦2 trillion. Once you look at the savings of ₦2 trillion and you now look at the price increase in pump price, you will know where the money is going through, because it is, of course, subsidy is removed, but if you should go by inflation and by what is obtained at the global oil market, you know that you cannot buy this product that is refined abroad at 517 or 527 naira. And that is why today you find, even within Abuja, where we used to buy fuel, we bought it, it's only NNPC that you can have it at 617. In most of the filling stations, it's 660, while outside Abuja, it is going after 700 and below. So you remember the World Bank has even called the attention
of
Nigerians that
we should be buying at 750.
We don't want that advice. What we want is what is World Bank to assist Nigeria to have its own refineries working. We don't want projection of prices, but what I said initially, that it is going to be a grievous mistake if Nigeria will continue to allow pump price of PMS to be increasing. Whatever that can be done to stabilize the price is better for the economy. Looking at the nature of the economy, the size of the economy, and the suffering that is being faced by different households in the economy, it is good for government to consider certain measures. Subsidies removal is very good, but it has to be hygienic. So whatever the savings that we are speaking, we are waiting for the government in power to tell us exactly, because there is a projection that part of what is going to part of what is going to form the revenue accruals to the government or service our budget 2024, including those saved money. So we want to see how that is going to work.
During the Buhari regime, there has been noises of we have recovered this, we have recovered that from what Abacha took to this country, and then at the end of the day, we did not hear how those money saved or recovered, where they ended.
Yes, it is part of history, but what we are emphasizing here is how do you make efficiency in whatever we do, how we can be effective in all the engagement. Buhari administration has gone, and it has gone with many deficits.
Sure.
This administration has come, and the first thing, which I even at the initial stage, I was not comfortable when Mr. President told Nigerians that he has made ₦1 trillion savings, because there will be more agitation.
Where is the money going to?
Agitation from different quarters.
True.
The governor's quarters will come to him, okay, 1 trillion, what is our own? Go by the ratio mobilization. The labor will come. The common people will also come for that.
Expected.
But if that saving has been made, of course, in Hausa, there was a proverb that says, when a dog is told that there is a celebration going on,
house,
he say, I want to see it on ground. That is the only answer.
Yeah,
he want to see it on ground. So in my own, please, it is good for us to know where these savings are, but what is more important is for the nation to tell us that they have stopped borrowing by so amount because of so accruals. Okay,
so finally, Malamisha Aliyu, what would you say should we expect with the projection by the CBN governor? What would you say should we expect in the coming year?
We expect inflation to grow in the first quarter.
Okay.
And if eventually the production of Dangote is coming, we will see a reduction in pump price. If eventually government is more committed to engaging the other stakeholders in the financial market, especially the Saudi Arabian intervention in
Yes,
exchange
yes.
rate. We're expecting to see the Naira being appreciated and then stabilize at a certain level.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Malamisho Aliyu.
Thank you.
We just went through the projection by the CBN governor, who said there would be drastic reduction in inflation rate and there'll be stability in the foreign exchange market. Plus, there would be reduction in oil export in the coming year. Malamisho Aliyu broke it down for us completely. Thank you very much for that, Malamisho Aliyu, again.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it from Business Focus. I am Maria Adu Zakari. Do have a good day. Take care.